just give somebody a shot. Don't just look at somebody and their situation and think that there's just no way it's going to work out. Okay, guys, as a follow-up to my worst employee, I want to do a video on my best employee. A lot of you thought that video was interesting, so I do want to tell you, the people that have been absolutely best for me, and in particular, it's actually not a person, it's actually a set of brothers. So, whenever I first started my business, it was about the third year in business, and we were busting at the seams, man. I couldn't take on any more work. My brother had been working with me for a couple years, and he was going off to pursue other endeavors, and he needed to go. So I was in a pinch because I was really reliant upon having him here helping me, but he did get me in touch with these two brothers, and whenever I first met them, I'll just say that I was not impressed. And I'm sorry, I just wasn't. First impressions, take it or leave it, they matter, and they were not very impressive, But if you will just talk to people and give it some time and just give somebody a shot. That's the point in this video. Just give somebody a shot. Don't just look at somebody and their situation and think that there's just no way it's going to work out. So I said, all right, I'm gonna give this guy a shot. It was actually one guy at the time, and I remember the first day he got in my truck. I gave him a work shirt. He got in my truck. We got out, and I watched him go across the yard and weed eat, and I said, we're both about to get rich. I remember thinking, this dude's been doing this his whole life. Like, this is what he does, right? And you see somebody like that, and they're as good as I was, if not better. And I told myself, there it is. That's what we need. I will pay this person whatever the heck. We'll go in this, and we will make a ton of money. And I remember just watching this person work. They got on the equipment, knew how to run the equipment safely, fast. Like, they knew what they were doing. They knew how to use the operator-controlled discharge chute. He was just like a wizard with the weed eater, man. Like, just back and forth. You didn't have to tell him, how to walk a property. Like, he knew exactly what to do. There was no teaching at all. And it just stuck out so much, man, because everybody who says they can cut grass, dude, you know what it's like putting somebody in the truck that, like, they say they can cut grass, but we're not talking about cutting your grandma's grass, man. We're talking about busting out 30 yards a day with a professional service. But, man, this guy got in there, and he absolutely floored me. Like, I couldn't believe it. And, at the end of that day, I was basically told him, like, look, man, name your price. And he said, well, the most I've ever made has been $12 an hour. And I said, okay, well, let's start you at 20. I said, how does that sound? And he just, he ended up crying in my truck, and it was just a wonderful moment, like, knowing that, like, okay, this person, like, they're fixing to change their life. Like, they're going to help me do what I want to do in my business, and I'm going to help them change their life. Well, this person had been with me for a couple weeks, and, he comes to me at the end of the couple weeks, and he's like, hey, sir, he's like, I want to ask you, do you need anybody else? And I was kind of like, I'm of the mentality, slow to hire, quick to fire. It's just, I find that works the best. I mean, that sounds horrible, but so whenever he said that, again, I was kind of going back to my first impressions. I was kind of like, well, whoever you hang out with, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what kind of background they got, like, I'm comfortable with you, I know your story. But so it was actually, this guy's brother, who he wanted me to take a look at. And I said, all right, I will. So he did. He had his brother come out, and guys, his brother was less impressionable than even he was. I don't even know if that makes sense. He was less. He made even less of a first impression, if you will, than he did. And I saw the guy, and I'm like, he was just a really big guy, and I was like, there's no way this guy is going to be able to operate the way that we do with the amount of yards we do in July and August. Like, it's just not going to happen. But there I went again, just kind of having these preconceived notions in my head about, what the ideal employee is. But I did, man. I was like, based on his brother's recommendation, I said, I'm going to give him a shot, So I got him in the truck, and I'll be damned if it wasn't a spitting copy of the brother. Just a wizard with a weed eater. I mean, it was, again, he'd been doing it his whole life. And I literally, that year, I hit the jackpot. I mean, I had 2 employees that could run a truck. They were absolutely as profitable as you can be. And for 2 years, guys, and I kid you not, for 2 years on their yards, you know how many callbacks I got? 0 call. I don't even get 0 callbacks whenever I go out to work. But they were profitable, and they got 0 callbacks. So while they were my best employees, and they were making more money than they ever had, and I was about as thrilled as I could have to have them, I felt like everybody was succeeding. But unfortunately, this story takes a downward turn. These guys, man, they went back to a very, very dark habit that they had. They had a bad drug habit. And, honestly, I was absolutely shocked that they were able to keep it together for as long as they could. And man, I had invested myself into these people, like, emotionally. I was just like, I was committed. Like, I was committed to them. And there was times we sat down and we talked, and we tried to get things right. I tried to give them some time off to get their stuff sorted out, man, because they were such good employees. And like I said, I was already invested in what they had going on. And that's kind of the point in this video too, man. Like, and you can care about your employees and treat everybody with respect, but you can't get emotionally invested in their lives, because it caused me to drag the firing of those 2 guys out way longer than I should have. So what happened was, I ended up pulling up one day. You just knew thing wasn't right. It just kept trying to make it right with them. And I pulled up on a property, and they did something that I couldn't forgive. They were operating my work truck, and whenever I pulled up to do a spot check on property, it was apparent that they were both high. And I'm not talking about high off weed. I mean, they were straight up strung out, driving my work truck around. And I don't have to explain to all the business owners out there what type of liability they put me in a position where there was literally nothing I could do. Like, you have to go. You cannot jeopardize what I have created here for my family, because you can't kick your demons, type thing. And I didn't see them for like a year, man, and I ended up seeing them at a gas station, I don't know, probably 6 months ago, and it damn near, it broke my heart to see them. Like, they are just at a completely different place than they could have been had they just stayed the course. So I'll leave that at that. They were my best employees that I've ever had, but also they ended up being the the hardest employees that I've ever had to let go. So I don't know. Maybe they watch my videos. You know who you are. If you see me around town, man, holler at me. There's no hard feelings. Come talk to me, and I hope that y'all are both doing okay.